Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is OnlyFans creator, former stripper, and aspiring adult performer, Wilder Dreyes. She started her OnlyFans on her 18th birthday. We are now approaching the 5th anniversary of that date. She talks about what she is up to on OnlyFans. She tells a ton of insane strip club stories. There's actually so many wild twists and turns in this episode that I don't think any of you are prepared for it. And I'm not going to spoil anything in the intro. She tells a story about doing a DP with a famous Netflix actor. She talks about how she looks young, she's short, she's 4'9", and how that plays a part in her sexuality. She talks about BDSM. She talks about strip club extras. This is a full episode. It's a banger. There is murder, mayhem. Yes, I did say murder. And everything else you can't even begin to imagine. So, without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Wilder Dreyes.
This week's conversation.
Wilder Dreyes, welcome to Sex Party. How are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good now because it's been a wild one today and lots of episodes, lots of fucking, content and whatever, as you know, in the crazy world. But I'm okay. We've had 2 espressos. We're hitting. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah, gotta have that coffee. Get ready.
For sure, yeah. Okay, so if people are tuning in, a little something we like to do, obviously, but if people are tuning in, they're like, this fucking guy, like, what is he up to now? Who is he with? What are all the things, right? So just right from the jump, could you talk a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So I am Wilder Dreyes. I am literally all over social media. You can find me anywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky, all that fun stuff, YouTube. But if you want to find the Wilder stuff, you can check out my OnlyFans, and I'm also a live cam girl.
Okay, yeah. Are we just on OnlyFans, or are you on like Fansly, Loyal Fans?
I am only on OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
I have put full focus into that and doing live camming, and that has been what is most successful for me with the time I have.
Yeah. How long have you been at the OnlyFans side of it?
So I started OnlyFans the day I turned 18.
Okay.
Which we are coming on 5 years now. April 11th is my birthday, so that will be my 5-year OnlyFans anniversary.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Then happy birthday early.
So excited. I'm planning a huge, big party. I'm probably going to do a live stream for my birthday, just celebrate with all of my favorite people, all my fans.
Yeah. Like, well, so do you are you going to do like a cake or something and do something insane with it? Are you going to have like...
I'm definitely getting a cake for sure.
Yeah.
I want to do a cake. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I've been like, I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll figure it out. And then nothing's came to my head yet. So I'm waiting for one of my friends to like give me some crazy idea, because they're usually the ones that spark the inspiration for me.
So you have like a good friend group then that's like...
Oh yes. My friends are the people that get me doing content. Like half the time I will be sitting like, I don't know what to do. And my friends will be like, here you go.
So like, what are some of the ideas they'll give you? Like lately?
My friend dressed me tonight.
Okay. All right.
For starters.
Okay.
She was like, you should wear this top. Like, that would be so cute. Do your hair like this. Like, she's always sending me photo shoot ideas, like sending me TikToks that I should do, being like, you should talk about this. Literally anything.
Yeah.
She has been my like biggest supporter. She was the one when I first started watching YouTube, like at 10 years old. She was like, you should save your allowance and start making YouTube videos. Like, she is the reason I am here.
Okay. So you have a stylist, basically your own stylist. She just happened to be your best friend.
Like she, since we were super little, she has been the one that's dressed me.
Yeah.
Told me like, yep, you do this. because I was an only child and she was my neighbor next door. So she was the little sister I never had.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. That's fucking awesome. So what kind of content would you like? And okay, listen, 5 years on OnlyFans is a long time. That's
Yes.
seriously, congrats on that. And
Thank you.
starting the day, literally the day you turned 18, you started an OnlyFans.
The day I turned 18, I knew I was making an OnlyFans. With COVID happening, like it started booming right before my birthday, and I had seen it popping off on Twitter because I am huge in the rave scene.
Oh, okay.
I have been raving since I was 15. Like, I love EDM music. Going to festivals is my favorite thing in the world. And so I was seeing girls in the rave scene starting OnlyFans, doing that and having tons of success. So I knew that the day I turned 18, I wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's really interesting because it's like that sexy, like sensual, like horny, like rave outfit kind of energy does lend itself very well to OnlyFans.
I never thought about it, but then whenever I saw like the girls around me like doing that, I was like, y'all are so smart. And like I had friends that worked at Twin Peaks, Hooters, stuff like that. So like I knew that you could make money being hot. I just didn't know to what capacity.
Right.
And then once OnlyFans came out, it made it a whole different ballgame for creators. Like a space specifically to sell your content and interact with your customers. It is so nice.
Yeah. So, okay. So what kind of we'll go back to the beginning because I don't like, we'll do the origin story like in the middle or at the end or something because we'll just fucking time travel around. But like, what kind of content are you doing now on OnlyFans? Is it girl, boy, is it solo? Is it all of it?
So right now, my OnlyFans has always been everything from like spicy little like kind of lewd stuff all the way to full-fledged stuff. Like right now I've been really focusing on doing stuff myself.
Yeah.
And since with where I am located, there's not a lot of creators in my area.
Sure.
But this year I'm like, I am putting full focus into collaborating with other people. I am part of a cam studio now.
Cool.
So getting to work with IGF Studios, I am now connected with so many other girls in the industry. So hoping to meet them eventually, maybe do some collaborations like that. I also, of course, I have dream collaborations. My overall goal is to do mainstream porn. Like that is the goal.
Okay.
So I do, of course, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I have the people that I'm like, this would be a dream come true. One of them followed me last month on Instagram and I freaked out.
Can we say who it is?
Alex Adams.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
I will even like make fun of myself for this because hopefully he sees this. I don't know. I have been like, I've never asked him to collab. I've never like been weird because I know how weird that is to just like have people that have like no stature compared to you reaching out and being like, hey, like collaborate with me. Then it's like, no. But I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna convince you for a collaboration.
You said
like,
that?
One of these, I've said that one time. I said, one of these days you're gonna let me do a photo shoot with one of your cars because he has exotic cars.
Yeah. And
like he just will always like send back like heart emojis or like whatever. There was one day I took a picture with like this giant hot dog while I was on vacation.
Right.
And I'm 4'9". So it looked even smaller compared to me. But it's the like biggest hot dog in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
People would see if I ever had a collaboration with Alex Adams. And he shared it to his story.
Oh shit.
Like, I don't know. And I was like, well, give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I feel like you should just ask him because I will tell you right now, I've had a lot of people, a lot of women on this show, and they've just sent the blanket tweet or the fucking DM to like Johnny Sins and whoever, and he's like, okay, sure, fly out, and then boom. And
Alex, this is me asking. I'll be in Miami for XBiz Awards.
Okay, so I'm gonna clip that, and I will be in XBiz for Miami for the awards. So I'll be there to see, like, if we can make a match here. I think that's
I would freak out. Oh my God.
yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay, so right now on your OnlyFans, like, what kind of stuff is available? Is it mainly girl? Is it boy girl? Is it everything?
Right now, it's a lot of solo stuff, and
Okay.
then you can also find male, female stuff. Um, I am going to visit one of my friends very soon, so I do have girl stuff planned very, very soon.
Yeah.
Along with, there are so many scenes I have planned. I just need to travel to get there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, there's a lot of public content. I love that kind of spicy aspect of things, outdoor stuff.
So, like, at the park or in the Walmart parking lot or in McDonald's, or what are we doing?
A lot of stuff just outdoors, like middle of like nowhere kind of stuff. I just recently did or I don't know how long ago it was, but I did a video out by these gorgeous waterfalls where I'm just like out there masturbating in front of these waterfalls everywhere surrounding around me. It was gorgeous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the waterfall video available on OnlyFans?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay. All right.
I have that. There's just anything that's out of the box creative. I've been learning about a bunch of new kinks from camming. And so now that I've learned about all these things, I'm like, I have so many ideas.
Well, what are some of the kinks that are interesting you right now?
I think the giantess kink is the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because like I've mentioned, I am 4'9". I've never thought anyone would want me to pretend to be a giant. And having someone want me to like put the camera on the ground and pretend that I'm just a giant crushing them beneath me, that's so fun. Like you can't say that doesn't sound like a fun time.
Yeah, I see why it would be very attractive for you to do that or want to do that.
And so it's like, I've also always done theater. I've loved acting. So anything that I get to like doing role play stuff, that's fun. Cosplays, like just getting to play a part is so much fun to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I had so much attraction to this industry is like, I get to do acting. I get to play dress up all the time.
Yeah. 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 And you get to be sexual and like live all of that out.
Yes. Cause I've always been so comfortable with my like sexuality, like,
right.
That's something that I've always been like, I didn't understand why it was weird for girls to like be wearing crop tops or like bikinis and everything. Like I started doing pageants super young. I was a cheerleader. Like, so I was just always like, these are just my clothes. Like, I don't understand. And like, I'm still now as an adult, I'm just like, those are just like human bodies. I don't know. I remember watching like movies as a little kid and when they'd show like naked choked on my own voice. When they would show like naked bodies or whatever, my family would like cover my eyes. I'd be like, I don't understand. I have one of those. Like, yeah. I don't see the issue. And I still feel that way now. And I'm just like, I would so much rather be making this pornography and this content for people that are like wanting to find that and view that than like for people to not be able to access that. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, and it definitely, there are people who, then like secretly fucking into all the shit, but then on the surface, they're like, don't do that. That's not good for, or whatever.
Right.
It's fucking the worst. Yeah. It's the absolute worst. But to start OnlyFans at 18, like the day you turned 18, yes. I mean, that's, so you must have, and to still be with it 5 years later, right? Like that's, that's real. You're committed.
It was a very like, I was set in stone, decided on it. Like I coincidentally had my daughter a month before that. I was pregnant all my senior year. I announced that 3 days before I started my senior year because I wanted to give everyone the time to talk about it before school started.
Wow, shit.
But I had my daughter. I graduated early so that I could be done with class. Had her in March. Her birthday is March 3rd, literally right around the corner.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's been what my time's been consumed with recently, getting her birthday ready. But yes, I had her a month before I turned 18. And the day I turned 18, I'm like, I got money to make. I got a kid to take care of. And then
Mama's got to go get a
later,
bag.
I started stripping.
Okay, so OnlyFans came first, and then you started stripping.
Yes, OnlyFans came first, and then I started stripping. And then 5 days into stripping, I got scared away.
Okay, tell me why. Tell the audience why.
Temporary,
okay,
but a customer came in. He was spending like pretty good money on me. It was the most money I'd ever made, like dancing. It was my 5th night working, and this guy comes in and he walks straight up to me, like an hour before the end of the night, and goes, "You're coming home with me." And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, no." And I just kind of started laughing at him, and I turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
Well, I go back to the dressing room. I come back out to do my stage set, and I start hearing screaming while I'm on stage. And he pepper sprayed the owner and some random girl outside and was trying to get in to stab me.
What the fuck?
So the bouncer is like, "We got to get you out of here for yours and everybody's safety." I get dressed, get all my stuff. He's waiting behind my vehicle.
No.
And my bouncer threw me in my car and like tackled this guy down. Everything wound up being fine, but I was so scared. I never went back to that club. I'm still petrified of that club.
Yeah, I am now too.
And it scared me away until I started just being like a shot girl at a club where I was just taking shots, selling them, taking like orders, little cocktail waitress. And somebody that was associated with that club owned a strip club. Yeah. And that's what I was like, okay, maybe I can try it out again. And it wound up being a lot better.
Yeah. Well, first of all, sorry that happened to you and like so fast, like when you started the job. Like, do you have any idea it was just some lunatic, or was there the backstory to this guy?
Super drunk guy. Usually the situation is they're just really drunk, or I don't know if he was on something else. That's another possibility always, but usually alcohol's involved. And yeah, it was a busy night that night. That was the busiest I'd ever seen that club. Of course, it was my 5th day there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I was just like, it's crazy in here. And then next thing I knew, all of that was going down.
It's crazy in here. And also someone's trying to stab you.
I was like the only sober person in the building because I'm 18.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I didn't drink anything, so I know what's actually going on. Everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, keep partying." I'm like, there's shit going on.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
And that was one of the craziest things about working in clubs until I turned 21. Like, I turned 21 in the strip club. My first shot was with my old manager. Like, my first legal shot I took with my manager at midnight on my 21st birthday.
Wow.
But working in the clubs, like, underage, because, like, you're legal to work there at 18, but you can't drink. Yeah. And so you're just having to, like, figure out how to put up with all the bullshit and also, like, still be a party.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And that was one of the reasons I left, is because I don't drink very much anymore. Like, I will have a glass of wine every once in a while now. Yeah. The strip club burnt me out.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. We've had some people who work in strip clubs. A couple friends of the show, Madison Card's been on the show. Like, she's lovely and knows all the strip club things and is all about like dominating dudes and like getting their fucking wallets and shit or whatever. But it is a lot of like drama, and like you have to jump through so many hoops. And like I have notoriously said, like when I mean, and I rarely go anymore, but when I go to the strip club, when I would go with like, you know, my buddies or something, like I would openly tell any woman who would listen, I'd like, I only have $5. Like, I'm not the guy. Cause I'm just not a spender. Right. Whatever. I just don't, whatever. And, I'll throw some fucking ones and shit and just for like, you know, to support, and that's fun and whatever. But other dudes don't tell you that shit. They let you believe.
So many guys will lead you on for money. It is crazy. I have a 3-song rule. Yeah. If you haven't spent at least $10 on me within 3 songs, I get up and leave. Yeah. At that point, you can tip me from the stage, or you can grab me for a lap dance if you want one. But like, I have had guys, the best customer I ever had in the strip club, he walked in. It was my first stage set of the night. He walked in, made eye contact with me on stage and said, "What do I have to do to spend time with you?" And I said, "Well, it's early in the night, so a VIP would cost a lot of money." And he's like, "I don't care. Just tell me a number." I said $1,000 for an hour. And that's just to like get lap dances and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just means we get to sit in the back, like, party area where we get better view of the strippers on the poles.
Yeah.
And we get lap dances, and the waitress brings us drinks if we order them. And he spent the entire night up there, $1,000 every time, like,
Really?
and it was a great night.
It sounds
so
like it.
I learned from like very early on in the strip club that if a guy wants to spend money, he will. And like, it'll happen. Don't waste your time on the one that doesn't want to, because somebody will, and it will be so much more worth it.
Yeah. Well, give the ladies and gentlemen in the audience like some pointers that you learned at the strip club. Like, how can you tell who's a big baller and who's not?
So if they come in with like a bunch of flashy jewelry, like the Supreme clothes, all that stuff, they are not going to spend shit. They might throw big handfuls of ones on like stages. If you are a killer dancer on stage, you might get some good stage shows from them because they're partiers. They'll buy drinks, but ultimately you're not going to make a lot of money from them. Old men, a lot of people have very positive things to say about the older men. They're hit or miss for me.
Right.
They're either there to spend money or not going to spend any money at all. And then I personally did best with younger guys, but I think it was because I'm 22. They were right around my age. And so they would see me and they're like, "Oh, wait, like, not only am I attracted to her, but she's like right around my age. I can connect with her like on that way. I could be a party girl, but also somebody that they could take home to mom." Like, it was the all around thing, especially when like the club I was at, I was like the youngest looking girl. Even though there were a few girls younger than me, I very much always look the youngest because I am so short. Like,
Yeah.
I like pink, I like anime, like all that stuff. So people just automatically are like, "Oh, she's like still 18. I would get asked every night, "Are you old enough to be drinking that?"
Oh my God. Well, take it as a compliment, right?
Oh, I do, because I know that I'm going to be 35 still getting asked if I'm in my 20s, and that makes me feel great.
Yeah, no, for real. Absolutely. I mean, you got to have a little vampire blood up in the mix, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So are you still stripping or no?
I actually quit back in May of last year.
Okay.
This is kind of interesting, but the club I was at is currently under investigation.
Do you want to say for what, or do you want to stay out of it?
Not paying girls' wages.
Oh, see, that's just shit. Why do they always do that? That's the one thing they get fucking cut for all the time.
They didn't pay wages. They made us pay if we were gonna miss work.
Well,
like, it was crazy.
So okay, the club, they're in trouble for not paying you guys, basically.
Yes, they didn't pay wages because they did require us to be on schedules.
Right.
And so since we were required to like follow a schedule, that was an issue. They made us pay to work. If we missed one of our days, we had to pay. If we did a lap dance, we had to pay. If we did a VIP, we had to pay. If we sold a dancer drink, they took a cut. And then they also expected us to tip out everyone at the end of the night. God,
geez. So you were left with a fucking bag of Fritos and $10.
That's what it felt like, yeah.
Okay. Was this so? Well, fuck those guys. Number one. That's terrible.
And it really sucked because it was one of those things where I knew that I was even getting it a little bit better because I had my own personal dressing room, but I was winning that by selling the most lap dances. Since I sold the most lap dances, I got my dressing room for free most of the time, so I didn't have to worry about that. I also knew I had been told on a few occasions that I was the reason that the lights were still on because of the money I was making. They were like, "Yeah, you making money and giving it to this club is what is keeping the lights on."
Oh my
And so
God.
for a long time, I felt like I couldn't leave.
Oh, wow. See, that's crazy.
I was like, I feel bad. And then I took a 2-week break. I was like, oh, I'm just going to take a little break off. And they're fine with it as long as you let them know. Like, it's never been a problem for me before, and I've been there for years. And then I get a call from one of the dancers, and she's like, hey, did you quit? I was like, no, like, I'm supposed to be back in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just taking some time off because I'm tired. And she's like, well, they're emptying out your dressing room into trash bags. I drove up to the club. I called the upfront guy, and I was like, hey, can you just get my stuff?
Right.
So it doesn't like wind up in the trash or something. And I drove up there, got it all, and I was like, and they were like, oh, we're not firing you. You just weren't here. So we were going to give the dressing room to someone else. I was like, I had it already.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, this is me quitting. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, smart move, right? And like,
and I was already wanting to go full time doing content stuff.
yeah,
I was doing a lot of promotional stuff for festivals at that time. Festival season is really big in the summer. So I was promoting for festivals. I was traveling a bunch anyway. I was like, I want to fully put everything into social media because that's what I want to do.
Right.
Like, I've known since I was 10 years old that I wanted to work online.
Yeah, of course. Okay, a couple more things about the strip club, and then we'll transition into content and whatever again. But so the clubs you were working in, were they fully naked or just topless?
Some of them were no nudity whatsoever.
What?
Like it was like a bikini bar.
Okay.
And so it was in a small town.
Sure.
Like really nothing going on there. It was dead all the time. We were working for alcohol pretty much.
Wow.
It was a rough time, but they were a little bikini bar. Like we could have like if we were wearing a robe or something over our outfit, we couldn't take that off because that was considered stripping. I worked at some clubs that were topless, and then the one that is currently under investigation that I worked at is fully nude.
Okay. So did you make the most money, would you say, in the topless or the fully nude?
I made the most money at the fully nude, 100%.
Okay, that's right.
Also, that was the club I worked at the longest.
Yeah.
For a majority of the time I was there, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I think it was probably after the big fight that broke out in the club.
Yeah.
Is when like everything kind of started getting off, and I was just like, it was kind of the beginning of the end.
Wait, the big fight with this knife guy or the
no,
oh, it was another.
That was at my first ever club. There was a big fight that basically went down where a girl was mad that we threw her a whole birthday party. Like it was a whole thing. It was on Valentine's Day, and she was mad that not everyone brought her birthday presents.
Wow.
And so she was super drunk. She was just very angry, and there was a lot of yelling going on. I got very drunk, and me, her, and another girl, she busted into my dressing room where me and the other girl was. Huge fight broke out. It literally just has been the 1-year anniversary of that for me.
Wow, stripper fight.
My spot has grown back in.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, she grabbed my hair and wouldn't let go of it. And so I sat to the floor, and it was just a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, stripper fights usually are. I mean, they're nasty when they break out. And you guys, I mean, I don't know, I feel like, and you can correct me where I'm wrong because I'm always wrong, you know, sometimes, all the time, whatever. But I don't even know what that means. But, you know, stripper fights break out more in the dressing room than most people realize. But once in a while, you have one that busts out like out of the dressing room and into the fucking club. And I've seen a couple of those, and they're nasty.
I've seen ones that start in the dressing room and come out. I've seen ones. This one was at the very end of the night. Like it had been building up all night long. All night there had been tension. And I had just told one of the managers who used to be a pro wrestler.
Oh God.
I tell him, somebody needs to go in there. A fight is going to happen. I was mad. Everybody was mad. Like there was a lot going on that night. And so he goes in there, and he had to walk out for something. He tells the bouncers to stay. And that's when everything happens.
He went to get his wrestling costume from the car.
But I don't know much of the information. Someone said that when he came back in and tried to like stop it, because he was the one that broke up the fight.
Sure.
They said that he dislocated his shoulder.
Jesus Christ.
I can't confirm that happened, but that's what I remember being told. And I remember he was mad at me because he was, defending me and the other girl in the fight.
Yeah.
Because the girl that was the one initiating the fight, who was upset about her birthday, she had been a problem at the club. She was dancing with an ankle monitor.
Oh my God.
So that was part of the situation.
Work release.
So she was already on thin ice working there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of other crazy stories about that. But,
I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, so and like we are sex positive on the show. We are pro sex work. I think sex work
100%.
Right. So with that in mind, and but I still want you to be your truthful self when I ask you this. But so how do you feel about dancers, strippers that do like strip club extras? Like they'll blow a guy, they'll jerk a guy off, they'll have sex with the guy for extra money.
So the way I felt about it was, if you're doing it like in the areas that I'm going to have to go and do regular lap dances in, like, first off, that's yucky. That's yucky. Like, if I'm going to be doing anything sexual, I want to know that that's what happens there. Like, I want it to be on a professional set. I want it to be in my house, like somewhere where I know that that's where I'm wanting to have it.
Yeah.
But I don't want somebody to have done something somewhere that I'm just going to do my lap dance and be done.
Yeah.
And then there's also the thing that would come along of guys would come up to me and be like, oh, well, so-and-so would do this for me. I'm like, well, then go to so-and-so. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sorry. Because, that was one thing that I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I knew that mainstream porn was the ultimate goal.
Sure.
And so I was like, I'm not risking that.
Yeah.
I am not letting a customer, like a few $100 or whatever I could make off of somebody be what ruins my literal dream.
Yeah. That, I mean, and to each their own, but like, that sounds like if you're trying to get in mainstream, you don't want to fucking.
Yeah. A lot of girls that go more mainstream or like are wanting to work with professionals, they don't work with somebody unless there have been test kits.
Yeah.
involved.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Testing is such a big thing, and I have held that as such a big standard for myself.
Yeah, for
sure. I'm like, I am always testing myself every 2 weeks. Anybody that has any interest of doing anything with me, they need to be tested. Like, that is a non-negotiable. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, and that you've already adopted the right like mindset. That's when you do get to mainstream, that's what you have to do anyway. So you're already in that.
Makes me feel comfortable too.
Sure.
It makes me feel better because I am that worrisome person that's always like, well, do I have something? Like, I'm always the person that's like, I cough once and I'm like, do I have the flu? Is it COVID? Like, oh no.
Like, oh my God, I have fucking AIDS.
And so that's another thing is the mental well-being it gives of me being like, okay, we're good. And everybody else around me is safe too. And that makes me have a peace of mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That being said, though, there was something you said before we started recording that we could use for a finale piece of this little strip club portion of the show. You said something about this is a good one. I hope everyone's ready for this. I can't wait to hear this.
This was one of those few exceptions.
Okay, one of those few exceptions to that rule. So take me from the top, from the beginning. If you could say who it is if you want, you don't have to. So
I'm very cool with this person, so I'm not gonna say their name just for them. I'm not even gonna say what show they were in.
Okay.
Just for their little teaser there. But just for his privacy. And if he wants to come out and say it,
sure.
You go, bro.
Yeah.
Like you go ahead. You take your hype because I'm gonna say this now. One of the sweetest people I have ever met.
Okay.
Like, you hear people in the entertainment industry and like especially like guys that work as actors and such are usually portrayed as very like rude assholes. Like, he was so kind.
Right.
Like, overall, like, such a sweet soul, still so sweet to me. Like, I adore him. But basically, I'm on the stage dancing. It is about 10 minutes until closing.
So that's like what, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m.?
So my club would kick everyone out at like 1:45.
Okay, all right.
1:40, 1:45.
So it's 1:35.
Every person that was a customer legally had to be out by 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, we need to start getting everyone out now because it's always a pain.
Right.
And so they would do that. And it was about, 30, maybe 30-ish minutes beforehand. He comes up to my stage. He sits down, just like a pretty solid tip. Like, was like, oh, thanks. Like, definitely caught my eye, like a few 20s. And I was like, thanks. Like, and he's just like, come talk to me when you get down. And it did definitely help out that he was extremely attractive. Like, if you would have asked any of the girls in the club, they would have said that he was my type. Any of my friends would have been like, he is your type. Like, that is exactly what you would go for. And they would be 100% right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he came up to me and he was just like, hey, I would love to get your number, like, hit you up. Like, me and my buddy are very interested in you. And I was like, okay, bet. Like, whatever. Like, you're pretty. I'll talk with you. Cool. He tells me that he's from California. I ask him what he does, and he tells me that he's an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, cool. You're an actor in California, and you're hanging out in Kansas at a strip club. That really tracks right now. And then he's like, yeah, here's my Instagram. And I pull it up, and he's just like, oh yeah, this is from when I'm on this very, very big Netflix show. And I click on it, and that is 100% accurate. And I'm sitting there completely flabbergasted.
Sure.
Because I'm like, oh. And I didn't mention, but this is Christmas Eve when this is happening.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it is Christmas Eve. And actually, right before I went into work, I had prepared my vision board for the year. And one of the things I put on my vision board was an Eiffel Tower. I wanted to have my first threesome with 2 guys. That was just something that I wanted to be able to do because I knew that was something I want to be very versatile when it comes to making content.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do like threesomes with 2 guys, stuff with girls, like literally whatever is needed.
Yeah.
I want to be able to use for that.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I was like, I want to do this year. Like, it's a huge deal for me. And they're like, you should come back and hang out with us. And I was like, no, you're crazy. I go home and I'm continuing to text him, and my friend is there and she's like, why not? Like, what's stopping you? She's like, I'll have your location. You'll literally be able to like hit me up whenever, like you'll be good. And I'm like, I knew in the back of my head, if anything went wrong, he was like a big name person, so I could save myself. He had a reputation to uphold. He had like a reputation to uphold. So I was like, you know what? I'm a swing for the fences on this one. And I like text him. I'm like, can you come get me? Can you come by? Can you come get me? And they're like, yeah, on my way right now. And they take me to the nicest house I have ever been in my entire life. I grew up very, very like extremely low income. I was raised by my grandparents. Like, it was my grandpa and my great grandma. And so like it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so going to like this super nice house, like the nicest place I have ever stepped foot in my entire life, I was like, whoa. And the other guy was like, oh yeah, my parents are showing this house tomorrow morning, so we can't make too much of a mess.
Okay.
And me being the person I am, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really show up. I had a full duffel bag of all of my sex toys, all of my BDSM stuff. I had a spreader bar in there, paddles, the whole fucking nines. And
nice.
Long story short, like from probably 3:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
until like 7:30 a.m. when they took me home, it was just free use all night long. Like, just whatever we wanted to do, having fun, hanging out. And then we were like, okay, like, let's head out.
Oh my God. Okay. So wait a minute. Let me ask some details. And again, we don't know these people's identities, but but one is a famous Netflix actor. That's all that we know. It's all we need to know. You bring a bag full of sex toys and BDSM gear and spreader bars and paddles, right? Do you lead with that? Are they like, what's the fucking duffel bag for? Or like,
so one of the guys, the other one, like in the situation, he mentioned that he was like very into BDSM. Like he was the one kind of like ultimately leading things.
Sure.
He was very experienced in that stuff. And I have so much respect for him in that because like he was so well knowledge. He made me feel so comfortable. It was a great experience.
So were you the sub person or were you the dom person? Okay.
I was the sub in the situation.
Trying to paint a clear picture here. Okay.
But it was just very much of like just talking to each other and then just like stuff would start happening. But I got there and I was like, I got my whole bag of stuff. Feel free to go through it and see if there's anything you like. And they immediately just started digging through it. Like,
holy shit.
Savage dogs.
Okay, so then they're like, I like this. And then so they both kind of like, do you guys talk about like what's on the table, what's off the table, or does it just kind of happen?
There was like, I definitely sat there and was like, these are some like hard nose things I'm not cool with. I do a stoplight based safe word situation. The way I do it is like a stoplight.
Yeah.
So if I say yellow, that means like, hey, let's like take a step back. Let's calm it down. Like maybe in a second, just like give me a minute. And then red is like a hard stop. Green means go, of course.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is kind of how it goes. And then pretty much before anything would happen, they'd be like, cool. I'd be like, yep, like everything good. We would just go about it. Like there were times where like one of them would be hitting it from behind while I'm just having a conversation with the other one. Like literally like those free use porn scenes that you see online. Like that was what I was living in that moment.
Yeah. So let's take a beat, right? For the people here that might be new, or maybe they're just not as experienced, because we love people who are new and not as experienced. And I'll have you explain what free use is.
Free use is basically where like everyone's just kind of walking around either naked or with like easy accessible clothes. And it's just kind of known of like, you can start intercourse at any kind of time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just kind of like oh, like you're here, start sucking my dick. Or, oh, you're here, I'm just going to start fucking you.
Right.
And it's a very popular thing in the porn world. It's something that has to be fully communicated. I've only ever done free use in like a caged in amount of time, like kind of like where we knew that we had that amount of time.
Yeah.
And then if anything was like, I know I would just be like, hey, red light now.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Like it was like that night I tried DP for the first time.
Oh,
that
really?
was my first time ever being DP'd and my first time ever being fisted.
Okay, so did you plan on doing a DP?
I knew I wanted to do a DP.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to try it. I knew that was on the table. I had always been scared of, but whenever it got brought up, I was like, I will try it.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it whatsoever.
So it was a red light.
Not really something I want to do, but like I can say I did it.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good. Like I want to be able to say that I've tried new things.
Okay, so how did the DP go? Because this is interesting that you're with two, I mean, even though one of them is an actor, like you're with two real life people who are not porn stars.
Yes, real life people. And like, luckily they were very close with each other because they were best friends.
Yeah, you have to be.
They were comfortable with each other. Like they weren't concerned about their dicks touching or like anything like that. Like, it was a very chill situation. It was just like a learning experience for everybody because it was everybody's first time ever doing that situation.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just like let's just go with the flow. It took a few tries, but like once we got it, it was like, okay, like cool. We did it. So how long did that last, would you say, the DP section of the evening? We did it a few times.
Oh, okay.
I want to say like 2 or 3 times because like they wanted to each have an experience.
You can say whatever you want.
What can I say on here? But you censor out what's not allowed.
You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
But yeah, it was whatever. Like they both wanted to like see if it felt different from the other hole. Like that whole situation.
Sure.
It was a fun time. Like honestly, it was a great experience. If they called me right now, I'd do it again.
Okay, so
they're both great people. Like, they could literally call me up and be like, "Hey, let's film."
yeah.
I'd be like, "Okay, bet." Like, I miss you guys.
Okay, so you did the free use, you did the DP, and for those that still might not be aware of what DP is double penetration. So. So how did this feel for you physically?
It was, so I've used things like butt plugs before. I've used tons of different toys. So it was very like, kind of gave the same similarity to using because it's like, it feels like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But it's honestly like, I don't understand why. Making you come a lot quicker and a lot harder.
So did you come from that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so,
yeah.
And can you explain, I mean, you said a lot quicker, a lot harder, but like, just, I don't know, I guess like the whole package of like how, cause we talk about this on the show all the time. And this is really fascinating for people, for women who haven't experienced it. Right. But like how much different and how much, and I won't even put any words in your mouth. I'll just say how much different a DP orgasm is from a traditional orgasm.
It's crazy. It is crazy. It's kind of like a clitoral orgasm. Orgasming from just like a vibrator on your clit is so different than penetration.
Sure.
Orgasm.
Yeah.
They have like, it feels, how do you even describe it? Like, what I envisioned the Big Bang was, where like just literal universes, like,
yeah,
like, it feels like an electrical like shock, not like in a bad way, but like in a like, whoa, that's possible, like that you can feel that feeling. And I've heard the same thing from guys that I've pegged before that are like, oh, like I didn't know like that would like feel like that, like that felt like just my universe colliding and being like, whoa, because it's so much stimulation and like so much that it sometimes overstimulates you to such a great point.
Yeah. Well, and they call that like the fucking God level orgasm kind of thing, because it is stimulating. And also too, like for you, you're sort of like trapped in the middle of that, and if you're gonna come, you just kind of like are stuck and you kind of like explode or whatever. So
there is no like backing out, like you were.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking amazing. So,
and that was one of the really fun things. One of them was a switch, and then the other one was extremely like very dominant and very knowledgeable in being dominant. So he was like guiding me. He was just like you gotta hold it. You gotta wait until I tell you can. Like, so great with like leading the situation.
Sure.
Because like I am very used to being the most experienced person in the situation, especially because I'm not collabing with a bunch of like big names and stuff. I'm collaborating with people I know personally.
For now.
And so I'm very used. Yes, for now. We're putting that out there. But I'm used to, or just in like the fun situations I've been in of like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to make myself come. But like, do you know how to make me come?
Sure. Yeah.
And so I feel so comfortable in those situations that it's like, okay, now what can you do?
Right. Well, that tees us up perfectly for like the content, and you said a little bit already, but so like on OnlyFans, are the guys that you're on your OnlyFans having sex with, are they friends? Is it your like baby daddy? Is it your exes? Is it people that you like are cool? Just
there are clips of me and my exes up on there. I don't know if you want to put this in here or not. You can decide that up to you. There is a video of me with somebody that is now convicted of murder.
Great.
On there. He wasn't at the time of this. We were cool. Everything was great. It was just a really good video. And then he went to jail for drug-related things.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'm just going to step away because there was some other stuff that I was like, I just don't want to be involved with that anymore.
Yeah.
He got out of jail, messaged me on my OnlyFans, and said, I can't wait to fuck you one more time before I kill you.
Whoa.
I didn't hear from him for months, and then I'm scrolling on Facebook, and I see his face posted by the police that he had road rage against like a 74-year-old man, followed him to a gas station and killed him.
Wow.
But yeah, that's...
I don't think that the twists and turns in this episode anyone's going to be able to see coming for like a long... I mean, there's just no fucking... What the fuck is going on?
My friends tell me all the time, like, I need a reality TV show or something because you would not believe the shit that happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had like an attempted stabbing, a murder, and now you're getting fucking DP'd by Netflix stars. It's just fucking all over the place. But like, I think this is gonna like parlay you up perfectly. Parlay you up? Is that even a thing? I think this is gonna parlay you into, right, the mainstream stuff. So let's just chat about it first for the last bit of the episode. So you mentioned going to XBiz. Have you been to any like Exotica AVN, XBiz, anything?
I have never gotten to go.
Okay.
It's never been something that like crossed my mind until I started camming a little over 2 years ago when I lived in Vegas for like 3 months.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old and I was camming and I was like, I would love to go to this. And I was doing it through Streamate and they invited like all of us to a Streamate party. I couldn't go because I was only 20 and it was a 21 up event.
Sure.
And so I was super upset. And then I wound up moving before any of that wound up happening. I haven't had the opportunity, but I put it on my vision board. Like I have my vision board right up here on my wall. And I want to go to XBiz Awards this year. And then this is another moment of me speaking something into existence, but I want to be an AVN nominee next year.
Okay.
I don't need to win anything. I just want to be nominated.
Okay. Have you, what else is on your vision board?
So my favorite movie is Maxine, the A24 movie that came out.
Yeah.
I have a picture of her right before she goes into a porn scene saying, "You're a fucking sex symbol." I correlate to her so much. I did a cosplay of her for Halloween and everyone was like, I thought those were pictures from the movie. Wow. So it made me feel very good.
Yeah.
I want to hit 10K followers on Instagram. I always wind up having my Instagram deleted before I reach goals and like stuff like that. So I want to hit that on there. I love California. So as much as I can go to California, I want to go. What else
I think you'll be in California a lot coming up this year and next year.
That is such a big goal for me. I love California. I want to live there. I've always I went to LA for the first time last year to audition for EDC Las Vegas Go-Go Dancer auditions. And it did not work out. I fumbled so badly, but it was the greatest experience of my life. Like I had so much fun.
Oh well, they're bad.
But I fumbled very badly. I had so much fun, but that was when I fell in love with LA. I was like, I knew beforehand that I wanted to be there, but everyone was like, oh, well, you've never been there, so you don't know. Like, you're going to realize how much you miss Kansas, because I grew up a small town girl my entire life. Like, everyone's like, you're never going to want to get out of here. And then I moved to, like, the biggest city in Kansas, and I'm still just like, this is too small. Yeah. I need to be somewhere huge. I really want to focus on, I love working out. Like, so I have just working out related stuff on there, eating healthy, drinking water, all the good stuff.
Well, I mean, I think
hitting the top 1% on OnlyFans, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like that is such a big goal for anyone in this industry now.
Totally.
Like, if you are on OnlyFans, you want to hit that.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. So you are going to hit the XBiz Miami, which is the one that's just creator focused. There's not even fans there; it's just creators, which is going to be fucking nuts.
That was my whole reason of wanting to go there first. Was like, I want to go and be able to solely focus on meeting other creators, like getting to surround myself with nothing but information.
Right.
I don't need the distraction of fans and everything, because I'm still a fan. I still see myself as such a fan.
Yeah.
Because like I genuinely think I always will see myself as like a fan to people. Like I work for like with IGF Studios, and the girl who runs IGF Studios is the amazing Lydia Love. I adore her. She is so great. And she was asking me like who some of my inspirations are, and I was like, oh, Ellie Clutch. Ellie Clutch is such a huge inspiration to me. Like she is so amazing content creator. And she was like, oh, like she's so sweet. I did a scene with her last year, and I was just like the fact that I have those connections, that I just like know those people. Or like when Alex Adams followed me on Instagram, I was just like, like the little fangirl in me is just like, whoa, because all I've ever wanted was to like be somebody online.
Yeah. Well, I think I've done so many episodes with people where I'm like, how'd you get into porn? And they're like, oh, I just emailed fucking, hookup hotshot, or I emailed whatever. And then like you emailed or like you tweeted. So it's like those things that you don't think are going to work. A lot of times they do work. So I think you should straight up say to Alex Adams, like, let's do a scene. Let's collab on a scene, whatever. Oh, and maybe you should email like, okay, what companies like have at it? What companies do you want to work with? Tell them right now.
That of course, I would love to work with Brazzers. You've got them on you, of course.
Yeah.
Another dream collab that I have, he is iconic. At least to me, he is iconic. But Tyler Nixon, such an icon in the industry. I would love to work with him in any capacity. Why am I blanking on
I don't know, because I put you on the spot. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I grew up a theater kid, so I love like the cheesy kind of over dramatically done porn. So like Family Ties, I think it's funny.
Me too.
Like I want to do stuff like that.
Yeah. So you're into like the taboo shit, like the fucking daughter swap.
Yes.
Fucking okay.
I think the taboo stuff is very fun, especially like it is literally conducted. Like it is all professional stars. Like if you genuinely think that he is sleeping with his stepdaughter, like
right. But also too, like
it's crazy.
We have this conversation a lot on the show, and it's like there's some creators who are like, yeah, I'll do it, and then some creators are like, no, I actually really like it because whatever, and then some are just like, I don't want to do it. So and
it's like, I know I look very young. I fit the stepdaughter, the babysitter, the like that whole kind of type that I like fit into. I know that I fit into that type. Like I as badly as I would love to market myself a MILF, because I am a mom.
Yeah,
I'm just like, can I even market myself as a MILF? Because I don't. I literally look like the stepdaughter.
Yeah, and see, I had Haley Spades on the show, and it reminds me a lot of her story too. It's like she's like really, she looks really young, and she's like really shorter like you are, and that's all the parts that she was getting were like the stepdaughter and the the daughter swap and like all of the things or whatever. And then she started doing like more hardcore stuff and started like built onto that.
And that's like what a lot of people don't realize about me is I love the hardcore stuff, like BDSM. I think it's so fun. There's a couple local dungeons around me that I'm looking at renting out to do like some full-blown like dungeon scenes in.
Nice.
Because that is, if I was going to pick a niche, like I love the idea of like restrain me in a dungeon for a video. That is my niche type, like the kink mansion videos, like with the big sex parties where like they're putting on full performances. Like that is so cool. My friend got to be tied up for Kink Denver for Valentine's Day. She was like part of the display where she was tied up, and I was like, you are the coolest person alive. Like I adore it. Like Black Tape Project, if I ever got to like walk for them or like model for them, like that would be so cool. Like just the more BDSM style stuff.
So when you do get into the industry, do you think stuff like DP, anal, like gangbang, blow bang, do you think that you'll wait and do those things later, or will you go right into all that?
I'm like whatever I can do. I'm like, I just want to make content because that's always been like what I want to do. I'm like, does it need to come out immediately?
Sure.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But like, I have been so excited. Like I said, I started making YouTube videos at 10 years old. So this is almost 13 years in the making.
Yeah.
Of sure. Like me finally having the like ability to really like be in front of a professional camera and get to do that whole dream of like being that personality.
So stuff like that does like similar to like the taboo shit, like gangbangs and stuff like that, like does turn you on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that whole aspect of it. Like knowing that people are going to be watching my content and getting off to me.
Right.
Like that is the sexiest thing to me. I was the weird, ugly girl growing up. I didn't get attractive till after I had a kid, after I left high school. And then once I like got older and realized like, oh, whoa, I'm actually like hot. A bunch of the people from my high school came into the strip club I was working at one night and spent a crazy amount of money, like pretended like they never bullied me a day in their lives. Like even the girls that were so mean to me were like, you're so pretty, like you're such a good dancer, like I don't know why we never hung out.
Oh my God. Yeah, well wait till they see you working with brazzers. Okay, so in closing, because you're someone who's a full-time creator, you're making your living off of OnlyFans, which is really fucking awesome. So with that in mind, I'm wondering if you could give some advice to the women and people who may be listening on how they can become full-time OnlyFans creators. Like what advice would you give?
The best advice I have is promote yourself. Promote. Anybody that doesn't want to hear you promote wasn't going to like you when it came out, like what you were doing anyway.
Yeah.
So be loud and proud about what you're doing. Because if it's what you want to do, like fully focus into it. Like if you're just wanting it to be like a small little side thing, like that is just fine. Like you could very easily keep it on the side and people might find out eventually. Like it's definitely inevitable. But like if you're really wanting to make it, like do something big, be able to quit your normal job to do that. And like, I also do camming and stuff. You have to be willing to promote yourself, always be posting yourself, making content. Like you have to feel so comfortable with just always being in front of a camera.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah.
No. Wilder Dreyes, thank you so much for being with me this week on Sex Party.
Thank you.
It was amazing advice. I was your first podcast, so now that's a thing.
My podcast cherry.
Let's tell these party goers who want more of you where they could find you. Not just only on socials, right? But let's tell them where they can find you online so they could just dump like garbage bags full of money out on you.
So if you want to find me just on socials, my Instagram is WilderXDreyes, spelled the same as what you'll see in the like name and everything on here.
Sure.
My TikTok is Wilder Be Wildin'. My YouTube, Wilder Dreyes. OnlyFans, WilderXDreyes, and if you look me up on Streamate, Jerkmate, CamModels.com, Pornhub Live, and multiple others of those streaming sites are all connected to find me camming if you just look up WilderXDreyes. You can literally just Google my name and I will pop up for so many places.
Yeah, and we'll have the Instagram linked in the show notes. Thank you so much for being with me this week. I'd love to have you back. I'll see you in Miami, but I'd love to have you back just to check in and see where you're at. Like I have a feeling you're going to be shooting your first mainstream stuff soon. So
I appreciate that. Yes, we need to do a little meetup here very soon. And yes, I will see you in Miami.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
I told you guys that was a fucking crazy episode. Big thank you to Wilder Dreyes for being my guest this week. So happy to have been your first podcast. Cannot wait to have her back and check in with her. If you guys are loving guests like Wilder and you want to see her again, obviously she will be back. How could we leave a crazy origin story hero's journey story like that. We will check in with her in the future. But if you're loving Sex Party and you want to make sure you show that love, that appreciation, that desire, and you want to make sure you never miss an episode ever, you never want to miss the party, what can you do? Well, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you could leave a rating, you could leave a review. I appreciate that. I will read those things 100 times. I love you for that. But honestly, fuck it. The simpler and most effective thing that you can do is just click subscribe to make sure that you never miss a new episode. It takes a second for you, but it means a ton to me. Trust me, it's the one thing you want to make sure that you have done at the end of the day. So when you wake up, you know you're safe and sound. You're never going to miss a new episode of Sex Party every single Wednesday. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, are you a big strip club spender? Okay, let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, how can you make sure that you never miss the party? And how can you show some love and appreciation? Well, you could like this video. You could like all the videos. You can leave comments, positive or negative. I will interact with you. It's okay. Just say what you want to say, and we'll have a little chat. But the most important thing you can do is make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. As always, I'm available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter @SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin @DustinRybka.